Hi there and welcome to Burton Caravan Centre. My name is Henry and today I'm going to be taking you through how to set up and operate your Bailey Unicorn Vigo 2016 model. So starting at the front, you have all your standard equipment here. You've got your hitch, you've got your jockey wheel which can go up and down and is used to level the caravan. You've got your breakaway cable which will have to be attached around the tow ball, or if you have a point for it, it has to be done through there. You've got your handbrake and your 13-pin electric, as well as Alco ATC, which will light up with green light when hooked up onto the caravan. 2 points on either side of the caravan and then 2 points at the end. You have your legs. Do not attempt to jack up the caravan or level the caravan using your legs. First, level the caravan using the jockey wheel. The front should be about the same height as the back, and then put down all four legs to fully stabilize the caravan. The motor mover, I will show you how to operate the motor mover on the day of collection. However, on this side, you have your point for your mains lead. Opens up, and it's just a case of connecting the mains through this point, just like so. Heading round the caravan to the other side, we've got this little flap here. This opens up and this is for your water pump. It connects into this point here. When you've got your water buckets full of fresh, clean drinking water, make sure that your strainer on your water pump does sit at the bottom of the barrel, and it connects in, and you can use this clip here to connect it in fully. Just next to it, you have your flue. Your flue is used for getting clean air into your boiler. Make sure that there's no leaves or debris around it, but apart from that, it should operate as it should. You don't have to pull anything up or take anything apart. As I said, we are using our test equipment, so we have a propane gas bottle here with a gas hose connected on one side, and then inside your gas bottle locker, which has two gas bottles, you have your regulator just here. You can attach the gas hose by hand and then finish it off using a spanner to make sure both sides are firmly tight. Once both sides are on, twist this handle to the open position. It may say plus on it as well, and that will begin to pump gas through your caravan. Then just here you have 2 points for wastewater. So this is where your wastewater will shoot out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipes to feed into a waste master, and that will allow the water to come out. It comes from your sink and your shower as well. Then just here you have the piece à la resistance for the toilet. So top one here, this is where you will feed your water in for the flush for the toilet. Get yourself something like a watering can and fill it up. It can hold around 10 litres of water, but just make sure that you don't overfill it. Opens up using a key as well. Then just here you have your cassette for your toilet. So your cassette sits in this bay here. To release it, press up on the orange handle. Then once you're at your emptying point on site, twist this head to the side, open up this cap, which is quite useful, this cap as well. Tilt the box, and at the same time as tilting, continually press in this button to vent, and that will allow it to be sorted out. I do recommend that once you've done that one time, just filling up in here some fresh drinking water, shutting it up, and again tilt and vent just to give it that extra thorough clean. Then on this cap here you have your measurements for your blue chemical in both metric and in imperial. Slot this back on here once you've put your measurement in. Slide this back to the central position, then push your cassette toilet back, and then you can see that your orange handle here sits behind these teeth. Now you don't want to travel with either of these too full, so that's how to empty that, and then For this one here, to fully empty it, you have this little pipe here, open up the bung, and that will fully empty out the rest. Okay, so first thing I want to go over now that we're inside the caravan is underneath the right hand side bed. You have your boiler here, which is your Alder boiler, but more importantly, you have this blue pipe with this yellow valve. That blue pipe is very important, as if the valve is in the vertical position, as it is now, that means that it is set to drain. So you won't be able to get any water through. Any water remaining inside the pipes will be drained out. So pretty much this is useful for your winter months, means that there's no water in the pipes, so if the pipes do freeze up, it's not going to burst the pipes. So I'd recommend November to March having this constantly like that, unless you're using the caravan. However, when you want to use it, very simply just switch it down to the horizontal position, and that will allow water to flow through evenly and nicely. And then underneath your fridge, just here, you have your trips and fuses. You can see that all your trips are in the upright position, as well as all of your fuses being in, meaning everything should work as intended. Okay, so just next to the door, you have this. This is your main control panel. So I've got this part switched on, and this is like your main switch. Without that being down, pretty much nothing inside the caravan would work. I also have the light switch down, so as you can see when I push it in, lights go off. Then this one here, this one's for your awning light, so if it's off, then put it on, handles for the other side. There you can see your awning light comes on if you want to use an awning. Then just next to the power button, you have this little tap symbol. If you press that down, that will circulate your water around when you have your pump set up to your Acroll. Now, I'm not going to press it down today, as we're not running water through the caravans due to the colder temperatures right now. So what you would do though, you'd press that down, wait 2 to 3 minutes to allow a decent amount of circulation to happen, especially if the caravan's been standing still for a while without any water being pumped through. Then you come to the taps, open them up, and make sure you have a nice, steady, continuous stream. Alluding to what I was on about earlier, this is also your water pump. This slots in just like so. You can press the cap down and that will lock it into place. You have this little plastic cap, and that goes over the top of the Acroll, meaning that there's no nastiness to come in. Then you have this at the bottom. This is your strainer. The strainer allows the flow of water to come through by sucking it in. Make sure this sits at the bottom though, as if it doesn't, it will be gasping air through, which will damage the entire system. And then just going back to this, when you press that down, you will have a little light illuminate. Also as well, if you want to see the level coming into the caravan, so if for example you didn't have a mains lead plugged in, this would show your battery voltage. So I press it now and it's saying 13.5, it did just say 6 volts are coming into the caravan. Next up, you have your Alder control panel. So first up, if I press menu, it comes to this screen here. Now I do have a few things set up already, so let's just turn it off. First thing, this first row with the house with the thermometer in it, that is for your heating inside the caravan. You can select what temperature you'd like it to be and it will achieve that temperature. So I can either go down by pressing the panel or up. Next up, this shower icon. This is for the temperature of water you want. So right now it's off. I can either have it at 60 or I can have it on full bar. Now when it's on full bar, it will prioritize the heating of the water over the heating of the caravan. So this is good for when you want to have a shower in the morning or something like that. When it has achieved that temperature, which is usually around 15 minutes, it will then drop back down to halfway. Next up, you've got this little lightning bolt. This is for the amount of electricity you want to use to heat the caravan and its water. So it does time out as well. I can either have 1, 2 or 3 kilowatt capacity. Do be aware that some sites do not have 3 kilowatt capacity, and it's always best to check beforehand. If I don't want to use electric though, I can use strictly gas by pressing in this icon here. However, I can also do a mixture of both. I could do gas and 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt or 3 kilowatt. And that will allow the caravan to use a mixture of both of them at the same time. It doesn't have to be 2 kilowatt, it can be 1 or it can be 3. So that gives you a bit more even. Then just here you have the settings button. This gives you some additional settings for this panel. Then once you want to turn it off, press in on this button here, press and hold, and it turns off. Next up, we have the fridge operation. So opening up the door, you have this panel just here. First thing, it's currently off. If I want to use mains to power the fridge, I simply flick it to the side and you can see all these blue lights illuminate. Now, when I'm towing and I want to chill the fridge before I get to my destination using my car, I switch it down 1 to this battery icon. That will allow for me to use my battery whilst I'm running the car to chill the fridge. Now, if I want to use gas, I flick it down 1 more, and then I have to use this dial, this and this. This is your temperature, well, power gauge more than anything. You can have it all the way at minimum, and the thicker the bar, the more power is coming into the fridge. So when I want to use gas, I press in on this and this button at the same time, just like so. You will hear the gas tick in, and you will see this little red line begin to go to the green. It may take a while. Let's see how long this takes. There you can see it's beginning to go into the green. You want it nice and firmly in the green so that when I release, it stays in that green area. Now, when I want to change it back, change it to mains, but if I change my mind and go back to gas, I'd have to do that same operation again. Then when you want it off, have it up on that central position. Next up, you have your cooker. Now, your cooker has an electric plate. Here, everything else is gas operated. For the electric plate, I simply just spin it to the side to my desired temperature. Now, for the hob, it's very similar to your classic sort of gas cooker. You want to press in on this button here, you'll hear the clicks, then at the same time press in on the hob, twist it to the side. Let's see if it picks it up on video. And you can hear the gas coming in. Now I'm just going to show you what it looks like when they're all lit. And here you can see nice steady blue continuous flames. This is what you want. Then you want to turn it off, back to the central position, back to the central position. Then again for the grill. Then you can see for the grill here, you want both sides nice and illuminated. That means the gas is coming in properly. Make sure that both sides are nice and lit. And then again for the cooker, nice blue continuous flame. Only difference is, turn this dial to the side, it will get hotter. Standard to any cooker, you have to preheat it. Only other thing to mention on this, don't press down this glass lid until all of these are cold to the touch, as the glass may shatter. Then lastly, we have the toilet operation. Now the toilet, once you have filled up your flush, as I showed you previously in the video, you have to press down on this button. As we have drained it, no water is going to come out when I do demonstrate it, but you should hear the motor whir. and that's how the water will be pressed out. You have this catch here, and this is directly linked to the cassette toilet. This handle here, so once your bowl is full, push it away, opens up the catch, pull it back to you, shuts up the catch, just like that. When you are filling up your flush though, if you do want it to smell a little bit nicer, get yourself some pink chemical. Don't have to put much in, and that essentially will make it smell nicer and keep it a little bit cleaner.